this one works. Maybe it's just user error.
Could be.
Like me.
Hey, I thought you guys dialed the wrong number there. I was like, what's going on? I was like, maybe they don't want me on.
Yeah, that was our dodge not to have you on, man.
I was like, oh, shit, man. They got me waiting here.
Hey, watch the language, pal. This is a family show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard the family show for, the last couple of shows, actually.
Well,
when I found out about the whole scenario going on here.
Well, we let me give you a proper introduction there, Wayne. As we were talking earlier on the show, Chris, Wayne does a show. I'm not really sure if it's just on Spreaker. I'll let him tell us, but he does the Classic Metal Radio Show, which is on Spreaker. It runs head to head with the Classic Metal Show. I mean, they're blowing us away with hits and fans and friends and all that, and I'm really jealous. I'm actually thinking of conceding and turning over the Classic Metal name to Wayne because, I know when it's time to pass the torch. And, I want to welcome to the Classic Metal Show airwaves, Wayne Smith. Welcome, Wayne.
You're passing the torch. Well, I thought we were the same age, man.
I'm passing the torch.
We're never too old, man. Never too old.
Well, I'm not passing the torch because of my physical age. I'm passing the torch because apparently the Classic Metal Show has run its course and somebody else wants to take it over, and that somebody being you.
Does it pay well?
Yeah, it's a big pay gig.
I could support.
Chris said he makes all kinds of money over there. Come on.
I could support a homeless person on the amount of money I put out every month to support the Classic Metal Show and the CMS Radio Network.
Nice.
Well, that's good for me. That's about all I need, actually, because I don't require much. I just love playing metal. So you know how Spreaker is. You got to pay to be on there. So really, not making a dime, and it's all for the love of the metal, man. It's what I grew up on, and the only spot that I got into any trouble with was a name, which I didn't know until afterwards.
Oh, blasphemy!
It was a name.
Blasphemy! The CMS.
I put a radio show so I could get a job, man. We're under the Obama administration, and musicians like me aren't making shit now. Seriously.
Is anybody, regardless of your profession, aside from professional politician?
Huh?
Is anybody what now?
I said, is anybody making a living out there aside from being a professional politician?
Oh, yeah, not these days.
Nice. Well, Wayne, you reached out to me, and I was as I told you when we were talking back and forth during the week, I was literally stunned that our fans were on the attack, because we did mention your show last week, but only in passing and not in a go get this guy, he's stealing our name fashion. We both said we had no problem, and it was kind of stunning that you were getting threats.
I read something on YouTube, which for some reason YouTube doesn't want to put my show on there from Spreaker anymore, because I made Nickelback jokes, and I actually got a notice from YouTube because I said crap about Nickelback.
Oh my
and it was an old episode that apparently they left up, and somebody commented on it and said I should be shot. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Shot? I mean, you could hate me for you to say, hey, you stole this, you stole, okay, you can say shit like, but I should be shot? I'm like, man, what in the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
I was just like blown away like you was, and then I told you about it, through Facebook, and I was like, hey, Chris, I said I have no problem with you guys. I mean, I never knew, until after the fact. I put the, like I said, the title radio in there to try to get a radio gig.
Right. Sure.
Because I heard some syndicated metal show, and I heard this guy, and he was just like, oh, this was Poison, and we're going to have some Motley Crue. I'm like, and this guy got a syndication deal, and he's boring as shit. And I was like, I can do that a lot better.
Who
so
was
I put
that?
The word radio, and
Well, who got a syndication deal? Go on, tell us.
To be honest with you, I don't even remember the show. I heard it, and I liked the music. Then the guy came on to talk. And
it wasn't Ralph Sutton on the tour bus, was it?
Dry.
Was it the tour bus?
I I shouldn't say, should I?
Oh, stop it.
You guys' show is entertaining.
What do you got to lose?
I mean, I don't think it was that. It was another one. It just recently got signed. It was actually off of Spreaker.
Who?
Who got signed off of Spreaker? Maybe we'll change our format and we'll do that.
You put the word radio in there. I thought it would work, but it doesn't. To get a radio gig.
Wayne, if you're going to be one of us, you're just going to have to lay it on the table. Who was it?
Who got a gig?
What was his name? I had to ask my fiance. She actually remembers it. His name's Andy something.
Well, put her on. Jeez, if she's going to be the one that talks.
She's my personal assistant. That's we're low budget here.
Oh boy.
Wayne.
Another Randy Trask.
But it was that was the reason why I started. I didn't even know anything about podcasting or anything. It was just, like I said, a broke musician. I was like, what can I do? I can't find a day job. Nobody hired you. So, what the fuck am I going to do?
Well,
so
are you trying to get into commercial radio, Wayne?
I was a long time ago, but as you know, you guys were in radio too, and it doesn't pay very well.
Well,
I was in an AM station, and it just got really frustrating. They went automated, and I said, screw this radio business. It's not worth it. You can't make any money. But then, hearing, like I said, guys like that, I'm like, well, I'm a lot more entertaining, and this guy's getting a gig. He's syndicated now, and I'm like, I can't believe.
Who is the guy?
What guy?
Oh, Andrew Babcock.
What show does he do? Don't tell me that's Hair Metal Nation.
Is that what it is?
Is it Hair?
That's all I know is his name, Andrew Babcock.
So why are you having a problem telling us that?
I didn't even know what the name of it was. What's the show now? Okay, we're getting Hair Metal Mansion radio show.
No way. He got a syndicated gig?
So now you know where I'm coming from, right? And this is what I heard, and that's when I got started. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I've listened to this show, and like, I love metal music. I listen to it. If the announcing's a little poor or it's just boring, I just turn it down and wait for the song to come back up, like you do to a lot of local radio.
Sure.
But I'm like, this guy gets syndicated in I don't know how many markets.
Oh, come on. I don't believe that.
How could Andrew from Hair Metal Nation?
I don't believe that.
He's awful.
Who told you that?
See, that's what I'm getting at. See, Chris, you said it exactly right. We might have a conflict with the show names and all, but if you listen to the show, I'm at least entertaining.
Yeah, I have no problem at all with the show. The show is fine, but come on, Andrew from Hair Metal Mansion? Oh, my God.
Yeah, there you go. I understand, it's all about, I don't know, if you don't bring across something to people, they're not going to listen. I don't see who's listening to that show because it's not entertaining. I turned on you guys' show for the first time, with the Eddie situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are entertaining. They keep your attention. It's a good show. Then you turn on his show, and it's like, and that was Motley Crue. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, play another song. I don't want to hear any more from you.
Hey, language there. This is a family program. Come on now.
Are you buying that, Chris?
So let's get to the meat of this, Wayne. Our fans made threats. What kind of threats did they make?
Just on like I said, on YouTube saying I should be shot, and I'm like, this is crazy. It's
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm just going to make a statement to our fans right now. Nobody needs to be shot. Not even Mark and John.
Yeah, I don't want to be shot. Fuck that. It would hurt. Getting shot sucks.
Nobody needs to be shot for talking about metal bands. I'm sorry, there's just no need for that.
Yeah, I've never made fun of a metal band. I mean, some people might say I made fun of Nickelback, but they're not metal.
Even if you did, who gives a fuck? That doesn't call for a bullet. If you made fun of Slayer,
understand it 'cause
if you made fun of Slayer, it does not call for a bullet.
Oh, I could never do that, man. I mean, they're a real metal band. That's good. Just the only thing I ever take offense to is like I said, you heard the show. I make fun of Nickelback constantly because people call them a metal band and they're a shit band.
Right.
The same songs you heard from their first CD, you hear now. People calling them a metal band, to me, is an insult to bands like Maiden, Priest. They basically laid the groundwork for real metal. Not a lot of the crap they're playing now. That's not not real metal.
Chris, look at Angel of Death.
What'd she say? Maybe they want to shoot him with sperm. Jesus. God. Our chat room has love for you. Man love.
Bukkake.
That's unfortunate. I'm like you when it comes to that. I heard what you were saying earlier about the the dick down the throat thing. Yeah, I ain't not down with that shit neither.
Well,
really.
So Wayne, are you telling me that you were not aware of the Classic Metal Show prior to naming your show the Classic Metal Radio Show?
Believe it or not, I wasn't. I mean, I never knew. I didn't even know what podcasting was. Honest to God, I'm like, this was the first year I haven't played music consistently. And I was working all the time, and I never had a chance to really do anything other than learn tunes,
Sure.
that we were playing, and then go play shows. And I seen somebody mention the Spreaker thing, that they were doing some kind of live feed, and it was that guy's show, that Babcock guy's show, and I'm like, man, I can do this. So, I said, kind of tossed around a name, and then I said, well, what do you think of this? And I said, because I want something with the, the word radio in it. That way, somebody would happen to listen, which, like you said, off of Spreaker, I highly doubt it. But, you take a chance. And, just wanted to bring this music that I love back to people and try to be entertaining.
Yeah, well, we've only been doing this 18 years, Wayne, so, don't feel threatened.
I'm a little late to the party. But I'm there at the party all the same, so just a little late.
Right. Well, what do you play, Wayne?
But I love the show.
Well, what do you play? I mean, you made reference to being a musician and whatnot. What do you play, and what's the name of your band, and what do you guys do?
Actually, working on a new one now, and I'm like I told Chris the other day on a post he said that I'm kind of ashamed to say, I play country music in a variety band. I play like 4 or 5 country songs a night. I just played them kind of metal-fied, which kind of went over well, but I just, we had a 5-year run, and it was fairly successful. I mean, we made a lot of money, played a lot of shows, and they just wanted more time to drink, so I'm kind of left on my own. So starting a new thing now, and I did a solo CD a few years ago. They're working on number 2, and that's all pretty much I've been doing other than doing the show now.
Sure. So with your show itself, I mean, what can people expect when they tune in if they go out to Spreaker and look up the Classic Metal Radio Show? What can they hear?
Anything 80s and new stuff that sounds 80s, because that's what I play. Anything new, power metal. You can hear anything on my show from old Saxon to Firewind.
See, you're stealing our gig. That's what we do.
Well, Wayne, I got to ask you, how do you deal with the paying of the royalties?
Yes, stuff ain't easy. That's what I said. I'm definitely. It's not helping with putting everything out and not getting anything back. Which you know all about that.
Well, that didn't answer my question. How do you handle the royalties of playing music and then putting it out on a podcast or a recording? I mean, do you deal with that? Are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's just really expensive. Really expensive.
Spreaker deals with it. Fuck them. I'm with them.
Yeah, for what they give you, yeah, it's not great.
Who's they? They who?
Being Spreaker, yeah. For what the stuff they give you there is not that great for what you pay out.
Okay. All right. Well, if it's not paying off, why do you use the Spreaker?
Because it's playing what I love, man. I'm playing metal music every week. It's what I love to hear, and it's what I think people want. I mean, people are getting tired of hearing the crap that's being basically forced down their throats by the record companies.
Well, sure.
You know, they don't want to hear the shit that's being played now. I mean, who wants to keep hearing Nickelback every time they turn on the radio?
I do. I do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Wayne, I mean, how doing this kind of a show, and clearly it would be what would be called a specialty show on commercial radio. You know, how do you go about contacting the companies, like the various radio stations local to you, where to actually do a show? I mean, do you actually direct them to Spreaker, or do you send them discs, or what do you got?
Well, there's a friend of mine that works for the local station, and he works for Clear Channel, which is definitely hard to get on. He likes the show. He's the PD there, but his hands are tied because it's under Clear Channel. Mm-hmm. So pretty much everything directed by them is, it comes from corporate through Clear Channel. So I'm sort of keep pushing, send stuff to the executives at Clear Channel, trying to break in.
Sure. Well, and I mean, I've been on Clear Channel. I've done Clear Channel myself. I was on WMMS, which is a Clear Channel station here in Cleveland, for 8 years. And when you're working with a company like Clear Channel, you really get wrapped up into the cume and the counter clock that you have to work with. So for you, with your show, how do you balance a clock versus a cume, and rate right with a spreadsheet?
That's what they don't like about what I'm doing now. That's the one problem that he's had with what I'm doing.
Sure.
Is I don't really structure anything. I just play the music and kind of do my thing. I'm not as structured as you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're very structured here.
But that's the hardest thing, to get everything down to that time.
Sure.
Because everything has to be perfect, because you have to have your spots put in.
Mm-hmm. Well, sure, and I mean, and a big part, and I have to assume that this is a big part, jumping from a commercial or from a internet station to a commercial station, has to be your tie-ins to do flyouts, right?
That's, putting those out everywhere is pretty much what I've been doing. Trying to, any bit of advertising I can to get the show heard. I mean, pretty much what you guys do,
Well, what do we do, Wayne? I mean, seriously, what do we do?
Well, you guys are huge. You don't need to do a whole hell of a lot,
Yeah, well, we could basically just fart on a microphone and people tune in, right?
I mean, you guys are that popular, from what I'm hearing. If somebody wants to shoot me, you guys are fucking popular. I made Nickelback jokes, pretty much every week on the show, and nobody said, "Hey, I'm going to come shoot you."
Right.
But, people think I stole your name and they want to shoot me.
Well, you did steal our name, Wayne. Just admit it. You stole our name. You're riding our coattails. What else you want me to say?
I'm ordering down the brand, man.
Well,
no,
Wayne,
I told Chris, I changed the name if you guys wanted me to, because I don't want anybody thinking that, because I do honestly work very hard by myself,
sure,
to do the show.
Well, first of all, we're never going to ask you to change the name. That's just ridiculous. We're not that full of ourselves to actually ask you to change the name of your show. That's just fucking dumb. But Wayne,
I didn't want any controversy at all. I just wanted to go, kind of with reckless abandon. I wanted to go out there and do what I do and just play the music that I love, because I know, the music that we grew up on, I'm assuming you guys we're all the same age. It's still relevant, even though a lot of labels think it's not. People don't want to hear the shit they're playing on so-called metal stations nowadays. They want to hear real metal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I wanted to bring back the stuff that I love so much, the sax and, the Armored Saint, the Anthrax and shit. Nobody plays anymore.
Right. And that all ties into the flyouts, right?
And that's another one of the problems. It's like radio stations think people don't want to hear real metal. The metal they'll play the, you know, the Unskinny Bops, the Dr. Feelgoods, the songs that they feel are safe for like the half hour that they do the little metal portion, you know, and in a night like we have a local station does the 80s at 8, and they'll play Pour Some Sugar on the same, pretty much the same ones all the time, because that's all they're allowed to play.
Sure. Now, at this point, Wayne, and especially since you are trying to get back into commercial radio, you know, I have to assume that you are targeting a specific target audience. So, you know, what is your target audience at this point?
Our age group, you know, the older folks, but you know, at 30 to 45-year-olds, you know, and that's, you know, the 30-year-olds will be later in the, you know, in the decade, but you know, I'm almost 44, so that's kind of, I guess, the audience I'm targeting. You know, that age group.
Do you think that an audience that's, you know, 35 to 45 roughly, do you think that they have an aggregate cume that will work for a commercial station?
It's been working, I mean, for some shows, but they're different. You know, I hate the term hair metal, because it's not really fair to an era that had such great music and great musicians to define it by their hair or the style of dress.
Sure. And it's a shame that a program director would look strictly spreadsheet oriented instead of evaluating the content itself, right?
Well, see, that's the thing. They don't want to look at what's good. They want to go with what's popular and what they know is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Wayne, do you believe that maybe your target audience and the demographic that you're actually shooting for is anyone who will listen?
I mean, I'd love everyone to listen. I'd love, you know, the people that are the younger kids, you know, that are listening to the crap that's on these, like, the so-called metal stations now, to get, you know, turned on to the stuff that we grew up with.
Right. Well,
I mean, I wanted to pattern my shop. You remember Charlie Kendall in the Metal Shop?
Oh yeah,
you know, that was brilliant, man. He was so genius.
Sure,
and such a great announcer.
He really was. Now, Wayne, you know, with your show, how long has your show been out there on Spreaker? How long have you been doing the show?
Just about 6 months now. I mean, that's what I say. I'm relatively new.
Sure.
And, you know, honestly, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing half the time. I just do it.
Sure.
You know,
now, have you seen a growth in your TLH as you go along?
Have I seen what now?
A growth in your TLH.
It's up and down. It's odd. I mean, it's just, I guess, like anything else. 1 week you're up, and it kind of depends. I do a featured artist segment every week where I'll do like a big block of whoever my featured artist is for that week. And it kind of seems like it depends on who the featured artist is. When I did the Sabbath episode, that was my biggest numbers yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty proud of that. I was close to 900 on the show, and I was like, man, that's, to me, to start from nothing and have that many people. You know, I was really proud that it came along that quick.
All I got to say, Wayne, is look out, Andrew.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be too hard. I can't understand why the syndication deal. I mean, like I said, you guys are entertaining. I mean, if anybody should have the syndication deal, it should be you guys.
Well, we do. We're on the mighty CMS radio network 24/7, bro.
Well, I mean, you guys should be national radio.
No, we're worldwide. We're worldwide.
In all seriousness, Wayne, we have had offers to do both commercial and satellite radio, and we've kind of turned them down. We don't want to get into all the politics of that personally. We like to just fuck around and talk for an hour and a half if we want to, or 10 minutes if we want to. You know, we're not so driven. We're definitely not lifers. Our TLH is just fine.
I figure, you know, as long as you're having fun, you know, and you're playing the music you love to play and not what you're told to play.
Well, sure.
Because that was one of the things, you know, years ago when I did it, it's 20 years ago, we were still in the old cart tapes. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's old school. And you couldn't do anything. I mean, everything was strictly structured out for you. You know, you had to follow every guideline. If you talked longer than what you had on your 60 seconds, you got your ass chewed the next day.
Stick to the script.
At night, and I'd get a phone call, chewing my ass out. I talked 20 seconds over my 60. And I can understand what you mean there. I mean, and you can't play what you want. You have to play what you're told to play.
Well, that's what happens when you work for somebody else.
Oh yeah, and if I had to play Nickelback, I'd probably hang myself in the studio. They see me swinging the next day. Like, I'm not playing this shit. I'm putting on Anthrax instead.
Well, Wayne, cool. would you ever consider doing a show on the CMS radio network?
I'd love to be on it. I'd love to be on CMS. Of course, I know how to change my show name, which, like I said, I'm fine with that.
No, you're not changing your show.
I have no problem. I don't want Neeley to sue me.
We're never going to ask you to change your show name, bro.
I'm broke.
Well, then there's nothing to sue for, so it's all good.
Wayne, are you and Michael Butler friends?
I don't even. I heard you talking about that. I'm like, who the fuck is this Butler guy they keep talking about? I want to hear what's going on with this.
He's a broke.
It's kind of interesting.
He's a broke dick, unemployed guy, just like you.
What kind of show does this guy do anyway?
A bad one.
I actually.
His is called the Rock and Roll Geek Show. You can visit it at therockandrollgeekshow.com.
Is that on the Babcock Radio Network?
No.
I was just wondering.
All right, Wayne. Well, you've been a good sport about everything, and we're glad you came on. And believe me, we're not that bad of guys.
I don't have any problem with you guys.
I would hope not. Otherwise, I'll have to sue you.
Yeah, that's. And you can't take broke from broke.
Right.
I mean, we'll both end up losing.
Sure.
I'll owe you for the rest of my life. My pennies I make off the show.
Sure. Well, why don't you, once again, tell everybody where they can find you and when they can hear your show and all that good stuff.
On Spreaker Live Wednesday nights from 8 to 10, the Classic Metal Radio Show.
Awesome. Well, I'll reach out to you during the week, Wayne, and we'll see about getting you on the CMS Radio Network, see if we can't get you a couple more listeners.
Yeah, I love it. You guys got, you could probably give me a couple thousand more listeners.
Oh, yeah.
And my total listening hours will go up tremendously.
And we won't edit your playlist or tell you what to say, and we won't even charge you.
Hey, I like all that. So I can drop F-bombs as much as Neeley?
Yes,
and Chris?
Absolutely.
I'm
sure
good with that.
Yeah, because Neely's the big cursor on this show.
I'm the big trash mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can cuss as much as Neeley and Chris, both you guys, I'm great with that.
There you go. Well, you can. We have no censorship here.
And as long as you can find me a partner like Chris to work with, because I'll do the straight stuff, and like Chris comes on with you and does the funny shit and the cussing. Yeah, that's what I need, a partner like that.
So
that way I stay out of trouble.
So you need a color man. Is that what you're telling me? And I'm not talking about non-Caucasian.
I was going to say, because Chris is white, right? Yeah, that's what I definitely get, a color commentary guy.
That's right. It's Wayne and Obama here on the Classic Metal Radio
Show. He'd love that gig. He could actually get us all paid. You know that, don't you?
Well, he might do better than he's doing in his regular gig. Fucking cocksucker.
Right. He couldn't do no. Yeah, you can't get much worse than what he's doing right now. So
that is true.
And thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
All right, Wayne. Well, we'll do you a solid here, and I'll let you pick a departing song here from any band you like.
Well, my favorite band of all time and a great group of guys. Could you play me something from Y&T? Anything.
Just anything Y&T.
All right. Well, then I'm going to direct this traffic. If he's not going to pick a song, I'm going to direct this traffic. I'm going to go from the 10 release and go with 10 Lovers.
Okay. Dave Menichetti's personal friend of ours.
He's an awesome guy. He got a chance to meet him all several times going to shows. Great people.
All right.
They're just like family.
All right, Wayne. Well, good luck with competing with Hair Metal Mansion and all that good stuff out there on the Spreaker.
Yeah, I'm going to need it. He's syndicated now. He's big time.
Yeah, right. All right, Wayne. Well, we'll work out a deal with you. Maybe we can get you to sign a contract, and you can be part of the CMS Radio Network family.
Love it, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. Wayne, it's been a pleasure. Here's YNT, Chris's request from the 10 release. And what is it, Chris?
10 Lovers.
Exclusively here
On your classic metal show.
See you, Wayne.